Hey everyone, I'm Kate Kennedy and I'm here with day 39 of 100 Days of Kane, PA. And today we're going to talk with 2018 Citizen of the Year, Mick Petruni. 2019 Citizen of the Year, Mick Petruni, about the Eli McCluskey Skate and Bike Park. He volunteered so many hours and so many skills to make this park happen. So it will be great to hear him share the story of how it all came together, including the latest addition, which is a pavilion that just went up in the last couple of weeks. So I'm going to go ahead and flip around and we're going to come on over. Hello, Mick.
Hello there, Kate.
How are you?
Well, just wonderful. It's a wonderful day. It's beautiful, so
it is.
You can't be anything but great.
Well, thank you so much for spending time with us today. I'm really interested to learn about kind of the history of your involvement here at the skate park. Where did it all begin?
Well, it all began about 2011 or 12. I really can't remember. It's been that long that we've been working on this. And it just came about, well, coincidentally, let's see, gee whiz, Exley. I know her all my life, and I can't remember her first name.
Josie.
Josie. Gee whiz, known her all my life. Anyway, I seen her one day, and we were down here at they were trying to earn money to fix the wooden skate park up, and she asked me, she says, Mick, do you have a generator? And I said, yeah. She says, would you be willing to help these kids get this fixed up? And I says, well, certainly I would. I says, yeah, they can use it. And well, she says, how about your tools? I know you got a lot of tools. I said, yeah. And I says, yeah, no problem whatsoever. So that's how it got started right there. Josie got me into this, you might want to say.
Oh, do you have a generator? Oh, do you have tools? Oh, do you have time?
Yeah. Yep.
So this used to be a wooden skate park?
Yes, it did.
And it was open?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And it did need repaired. It was in dire need of repair. And it was just from actual use. That's how much these kids used it. And it just got worn out, basically. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the insurance company came and says, hey, we've got to shut this down because we won't insure it anymore. Okay, unless you fix it up. Well, this is what we were told by the council, Borough Council. I said, okay. And that's how it all started, by them getting donations from various businesses and so on. Well, anyway, we got money, we got the all of the supplies up to Johnny's, Marconi's, and went from there. And every day when they could, started out with Joe Wolfgang running it because Eli wasn't around at that time. He was down in Pittsburgh or someplace working, can't remember where. But anyway, Joe had called me up and he said, hey, can you bring your generator and tools down? Yep, I had them on my trailer all the time, just ready to go. Okay, I'll be down here in 5 minutes. Consequently, come down, and they would work on the skate park for hours, a bunch of kids. And it was just a thing to do. And I'd help them out occasionally. Whenever I had the time, I would stay right there and help them. Well, then Joe, he got another job, so he couldn't come. And it just got sort of, nothing was going on until Eli come to town. And then he took over, and he started the same thing. Mick, can you come down? Yeah, you got my number. Call me. I'll be right down. 5 minutes, I was down here. And I'd work with them guys all day long. And one night, it was getting about 7, 8 o'clock, and it was getting kind of dark. And Eli says, boy, I wish we had lights. He says, we could still work. I says, no problem. I says, I got lights. I'll be right back. And of course, I only live right up the street here on Kearney Street. But anyway, I went up and got my lights and everything, come back down and Christ, we worked till 11 o'clock that night, and other nights we worked till 10, 11 o'clock at night. I got pictures of it. It's really something. And that's how much these kids loved this sport. They wanted it. They were willing to work for it. They just didn't stand around and say, boy, I wish somebody would do this for us, blah, blah, blah. No, they jumped right in there. And we did it. I mean, we got it to where we thought it was insurable. And I gotta put this in this, okay?
Oh.
This is what Eli gave me on the last day we worked.
Read it out loud.
To the coolest dude, we thank you for your continued support, helping us to restore the skate park. We appreciate all you did to make our project a success. And all these names, just an old piece of cardboard, and I'll never get rid of it.
Oh, that is so special. Yeah, that means a lot. And
yes,
your
it does.
Time and your resources meant a lot to them.
Yep. And I'll tell you what, it just grew from there on. And Eli was a special person. I mean, he captured my heart, let me tell you. I got to know him real well. Of course, I remember when they were little teeny kids, him and his brother, they were about, maybe this high. They'd come over and play on my pontoon boat because their grandma lived right across the street from me. And anyway, that's how it got started. And it just blossomed into a big project. It really did. After we couldn't get it insured for the final time, 2013, we got a picture of me and Eli in the paper about it, how we're still trying to get it fixed up enough, but it was never enough for the insurance company.
Okay, so 2010 or 11 is when this all started.
Yeah.
You see Josie, she's raising money for this wooden skate park.
Yes.
So you guys are working for a couple of years, it sounds like, trying to get it up to code so it could be reopened.
Yes.
And it sounds like a couple times you tried and it just wasn't getting there.
It came to the point to where the insurance companies basically would not insure wooden skate parks.
Okay.
There was one company out in California that would have insured it for $12,000 odd a year, and that was just outrageous.
Yeah, that's too much.
The council did vote yes for it, but it was too much money.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, from there on, it just blossomed to where we had to close it down completely because actually, I told the council this many times. I says, listen, I says, your negligence in insuring this is it's going to fall back on your shoulder. You could lose everything you got, every one of you. Mm-hmm. And that's the way it is. And they still wouldn't do anything about it. I couldn't imagine why not. Well, anyway, I said that to Don after Don come into the picture as borough manager. I told him about it. Next day, it was tore down. There was a contractor in here tearing a house down, and he got him to come down here and take this down.
To make sure that everyone was safe.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, there's where it came, and then that's when we started saying, okay. I asked the kids, I said, you guys want another new skate park? Oh, yes. When we all met, and they were all willing to do whatever they could do to get it, just as they did as the trying to revamp the old one. But anyway.
So you're just this volunteer
Mm-hmm.
that just kind of
Mm-hmm.
cared about these kids and
cared
wanted
about
them to
these
have
kids.
a place.
Anybody that loved this sport this much, that would work diligently to try to get it back on the I'm going to call it back on the pad. Yeah, they were willing and they loved it. And these kids were so good kids that I said, gee whiz, somebody got to do something for them, and I want to turn around and have them be me. Well, me and others, don't get me wrong. There was a lot of help involved in this. But anyway, what we did is we had a lot of meetings and very good cooperation with the kids. Had one of the Well, the kid that did the survey, I wanted to take a survey down to high school to see how many kids were interested and whether it was worth going for. Well, it turned out, yeah. Who it was Nick Grube. He was the student borough council member.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, and he did this. He volunteered to do the survey that we needed, and got that done. And it did require that we had a skate park here. There was enough kids that were interested, and we started from there. And the first thing we did to raise the money is I had a meeting with the kids, and I says, "Are you really willing to work to raise the money?" "Oh, yes, we are." I had about 30 kids at that meeting.
Oh, wow.
And
what year was this? What do you think?
That would probably be about, let's say, about 2014 or 15.
Okay.
So we started off by selling lottery tickets. They were lottery tickets, or they were tickets that was figured through the Pennsylvania 4 lottery ticket. Okay, the number, and it went over real good. I mean, we made our first $3,000 off of them.
Wow.
And boy, that was a nice start. And then after that, we got into other things. The Eagles. We had Sherry Cook. Her son Devin was into the skate park really big, and anyway, we got her. She took it upon herself to get a benefit up to the Kane Eagles Club, and we did very well with that. And it just started coming in, the donation. Well, I sent letters out to all the businesses, so many a week, and I would go visit them in a couple of weeks and give them a chance to look at things and see what we were doing. So anyway, in the meantime, it all appeared in the paper when somebody gave over $500. So people would see this. People would stop me in the grocery store and say, "Hey, here's some money for the skate park." I'm just individuals. And well, Eli had passed away January of 17, okay? And right away, because Eli was so involved with this park from the very beginning of the wooden one, and he was a mentor to these kids. I mean, the tricks that he could do was just unbelievable. He'd go up and twirl around, flip over in the sky, and and on his bike, and it was just amazing. You just couldn't enjoy watching that enough, I tell you. But anyway, the memorials that came in for him, we named a park after him then. I had to do this. I come out of the funeral home and I says, "We're naming the park after him." I said, "That's all there is to it." And we did, and the memorials came in. Oh, gee, it just rolled in. My book here is full of them. I think we had like $7,000-8,000, for memorials for him. But anyway, after sending these letters out, I'd go visit these industries or whatever was around, and they would donate. No problem. I got your letter on your desk you sent out here 2-3 weeks ago, and they saved the letter. So that tells me that they were very interested. And I had very few rejections.
An alarm?
Yeah. Oh, that's probably alarm this business. That was my phone. Yes. Anyway, let's see, where was I? Oh.
So you'd go back to the businesses. They were saving the letters.
Yes, and they saved the letters, so they knew they were interested, and they did. They'd donate $500 or much more. Okay. And we had very good cooperation out of everybody in this town.
Well, it just sounds like the whole community really came together to make this a reality.
They did. I cannot stress that enough. I always say the community built this. There, and we had to have so much money to get the matching grants, because I'd found out about DCNR. My daughter lives down in Cranberry Township, and Zelia Noble right there, they knew that I was, my daughter works for a dentist down there in Zelia, and they got talking about it one day, and they said, well, we're building a big one here in Zelia. And oh my, and then pretty soon I see in the paper that they got a big DCNR grant for $200,000. I said, holy mackerel. I said, we got to try that. So we did. And we got a hold of DCNR and found out what we had to do. And they sent a rep up to talk to me and Dawn. And after the rep told us everything that had to be done, we looked, me and Dawn, and she left. Me and Dawn looked at each other and said, holy mackerel, what did we get into?
Lots of steps, huh?
Oh my God, was it something else. So anyway, we found out we had to have a consultant, an architect and everything, a consultant, everything that had to be done. So we did, and I got a hold of the guy, the representative from the Skateway. That's who the park was made by, Skateway. General Recreations, actually, it goes through them first. But anyway, he says, try this guy's name. And I did. And I talked to him, and he says, yeah, he says, we can do it. It costs you so much money, blah, blah, blah. Said, oh, boy, that's a lot of money. I don't know. And anyway, they got everything in line. I had to have all these designs. I had to have costs. I had to have the bids, so I know what exactly the cost was going to be, and so on. So that took a long time. That took, oh, gee whiz, 6-8 months, 8-9 months before we found anything out. In the interim in that, I had sent a letter to Collins Pine, and I went out there one day and I talked to Jen. She was the head kahuna out there at that time, and I talked to her, and she says, have you ever heard of our Collins Foundation? I says, no. And she says, well, let me explain it. So she did, and she says, I could give you $50, $100 right here today, but she says, you know, try this. The letter stated that we need $40,000 to do the first phase. Well, after doing the first phase, we thought we could earn some more money, do a second phase and a third phase. And this is what it turned out to be. This is all three. Okay, this is all three phases here.
We're going to walk through this, I think, after we're done.
All right.
Yeah, you get to show it to us.
Yeah. And anyway, we talked there, and she says, you know what? She says, you guys are asking for $40,000. I said, yes. And I said, that's for phase one. She said, well, tell you what, she says, let me get Ned involved in this. So she did. And Ned Carger and him and I got together, and we we talked about it. And I told him what I wanted to say in the narrative, and he put it all together. He's very good at that. He put it all together and sent it on to Collins Pine, and it wasn't long before we got $40,000 from him.
Holy smokes! Phase one was covered.
Oh, yes. Oh, and in the meantime, we had earned enough that Erin Facilio, she set up a benefit down in Pittsburgh, and that turned out to be a huge success. We went down to that, me and my wife and my daughter and everything, we were there, and it was just crowded, packed, and Jake, him and his band played all night long for that. It was just a great turnout, unbelievable. And then, like I said, from what Eagles gave us the benefit and everything going on, we earned enough to have the matching for a matching grant. God, Ted called me up one night it was, I don't know, probably about 7 o'clock at night. He was doing his work, and he says, well, he says, it's pretty nice. He says, you got that, you got that grant. Excuse me. And I says, Ted, what are you talking about? That one from Collins Pine? He says, no, the other one. What other one? Well, the one from the state. I says, what are you talking about? He says, DCNR. I says, what? I says, you got to be kidding me. He says, yeah, $92,800. I says, say that again, Ted. I couldn't believe it. I got so excited I couldn't talk. I said, Ted, I'll call you back. I was so overwhelmed that I couldn't place it in my mind right.
Oh my gosh.
I just was unbelievably happy.
It all came together. So
it all came together
because of your efforts and the kids' efforts.
The kids' efforts. The kids, just the way the kids are. They're great kids. I just can't see how people can yes, there's always a few bad apples. And right now we got some bad apples, 2 bad apples here, but I think we've got them settled out. Jake talked to them and got it settled out. So I don't think we'll have any problems anymore. At least I hope not.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's been doing very well. We had we had almost all the money we needed. But then I decided, hey, I says, we need more money to finish this whole entire project. So I wrote a grant for Stackpole Hall, and we got that.
My goodness.
And one for the Zippo people. It's the Blaisdell Foundation. And we got that.
Had you ever written grants before?
No.
So all of a sudden you're kind of leading this group, writing grants, going to businesses.
Just telling them the way it is, that's all. Just tell them how much these kids love this sport, and it's something these kids have to have. They don't all play basketball. They don't play baseball. This is their sport.
Yeah.
And
they just captured your heart and you had to do
They
it.
did. They captured my heart. I'm telling you. That is the honest to God's truth.
So how much in total? Do you remember how much total was raised for this park?
Well, we had to have $220,000, and we've only got a little bit left. So
that's amazing. Wow.
Yeah, we got a little bit left for maintenance.
That's amazing.
So that's yes, it was a lot of work. Took a lot of time.
So phases 1, 2, and 3 have been completed so far.
Totally.
What was it like? I mean, how long did it take for this to get put up? Because this was just a lot here, right? Because the wooden one had been torn down.
The one was torn down, but we still had the pad.
You still had the pad, but
Rotary donated a total from the old one to this time about over $15,000.
Okay, wow.
Now they donated again to this time.
One.
Yeah.
So all that's here, all that was here was this pad, no equipment.
Right.
But then how did you get the equipment? How long did it take to get it up? Who helped do that? Like, what was that like?
Okay. The rep from General Recreations, he came down, talked to the kids. I set up a meeting, and they all come down here, and they said, okay, kids, what do you want? And they says, well, we want this, we want that, we want the half pipe, we want all these, you know. And he says, okay, he says, I'll make up a design for you. And he did. And it was just what they wanted. The kids made the decision of what they wanted.
Wow.
So it worked out very well that way. They got what they wanted, and then the price came in. Well, like I said, we got it together and we did it. And it was, oh God, it was about 6 months after we got the grant. About 6 months after we got all the grants, we even had to go for more grants. I sent another one to Collins Pine, and gee whiz, we got another $15,000 from them, plus those other grants I just talked about. So they gave us a total of $55,000.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. And that finished it up. That was enough to finish up. So he got it all ordered, and by the time we got all the money from DCNR, it's amazing, you know, how long it takes. And anyway, we got all the money, got things ordered, we got them paid for. He come up one day, or no, yeah, he come up one day and he looked it all over, the pad and all that, and he's okay. He says, it'll be coming in on such and such a day. Well, it came in and we put it all over there. See that? Yeah, over on the other side there. Just all over up and down the road there.
Yeah, up and down this road right here coming in. Yeah. There's a lot of equipment, I'm sure.
Well, there was all of this was in pallets. You wouldn't believe. I don't know how many pallets were there. But anyway, CW, I asked George, I said, George, I says, I'd like to ask if you would help us out. If you could bring your forklift down and unload the truck for us when it comes in. No problem, he says. And he sent Jim Wolfgang down with it on his time, on CW's time. Unloaded the truck with his forklift, and we stacked it up there, like I said, along the road. Consequently, it came to the day that we were going to put it together, and I kept telling everybody, hey, we need help putting this thing together in such and such a day. Well, it had to be put off. Anyway, we put it together, or we come down one day, and we found out when it was going to be a good day, a good weekend, that we could do this. All right. Everything's lined up there. I went up to George again at CW. George, can we use your, can you come down and set all those pallets down along the edge here so we won't be walking 10 miles a day, you know? He says, yeah, no problem. So Jim come down and did that for us again, and we just amazed at the volunteers that came down that next day from town to put this thing together.
So this is sometime in 2018, like a day in 2018?
Yes.
What month, do you remember?
It was in August.
August, so
yes.
Just about a year ago.
Just about, yes. Matter of fact, yes, it was. Can't remember exactly the day, but yes, it was. We had tents set up here, not tents, canopies, okay? And the McCluskey family had hot dogs, cookies, pastries, everything for everybody that was working. All the pop water that you wanted, and had it all set up here, and they did a great job of satisfying everybody with food, let me tell you. And it was just great.
About how many, do you know how many volunteers, or about how many volunteers were here that day?
Oh, at least 30. At least 30.
Did it get all done?
And all the kids came too, and that were here before that wanted this. And we started on a Friday, got it laid out basically, and next day, I think there was more than 30 people, volunteers come. Anybody from 80 years old, well, yeah, at least 80 years old to probably 10. Honest to God.
And everything in between.
Oh, you can't believe it. So anyway, Friday we started. Saturday at 2 o'clock, we were done. The kids were on it before the last screw was screwed in. Honest to God, that's the truth. And it was erected in a day and a half.
Wow.
And Will from the skate park, General Rex, he says, Mick, he says, I have never, ever seen a community with so much participation and support in my 17 years of doing this.
Wow.
He said it's just amazing. And he says usually it takes us about 4 days to put one of these together this size. And I said, well, I said, I asked for a lot. I talked to everybody. And everybody says, oh, yeah, I'll be down. And I said, yeah, but, come time, where they were here. Wow. Trust me. That's why I say this community built this.
Yeah.
They did it. It wasn't me. It wasn't anybody else. They did it.
Well, your heart was the one that was leading the charge, I think. And then that drew in the community for financial support and volunteering, and you helped the kids get the, stay on track. So it was the community and also your leadership, I think.
Well,
writing grants, that's no joke. You were writing grants.
Well, I had a lot of help, I had everybody critique it.
Yes, that's the way to do it. So what has it meant to you, this whole experience? Because you started getting involved about, 7 years ago?
Yeah,
when it was just
about 7 years ago.
So what has this process meant to you?
Well, I'll tell you what has it meant to me? It's meant more than anything that I think that I've done in my life. These kids made it for me just by their enthusiasm, their willing to help, and everything. The respect that they showed, the appreciation that they showed, it just overwhelms me. And I see that there are a lot of good kids out there. Mm-hmm. There's always a few bad apples, mm-hmm. but don't base kids on those few bad apples. That's mm-hmm. what I've learned. Mm-hmm. And this is what it's done for me. I've really enjoyed working for them. Mm-hmm. And I'm so glad we got this accomplished how we did. And we're not done yet, but we looking at the pavilion, we still have work to do, but we will get her done.
Well, just like they captured your heart, I have no doubt that you captured their hearts as well. Like, to have someone like you be on their side and be a spokesperson for them probably meant the world to them. So yeah. That's really
special.
Special.
Piece of cardboard tells
yes.
shows it right there.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Hey, would you mind taking us through?
No, not
and then
at
we
all.
can end at the pavilion, maybe.
Yeah.
Since that's the newest edition.
Right, that is.
And there's a nice fence around here.
Oh, yes.
Because the other one wasn't fenced in, I don't think.
No, it wasn't. This was one of the stipulations that stipulations that DCNR wanted is a fence. You had to do everything exactly the way they wanted it. Mm-hmm. You had to tell them what you were going to do. They had to accept that, and then you could go ahead and do it. It was very involved.
Well, probably for the best.
Yes, absolutely. But like I said, you look at this here right now, and this is the way the kids, these here ramps right here, mm-hmm. Those boxes basically.
This one and this
They
one.
move those to wherever they want them. So they can come down here, fly up on that, and jump on that railing going down there and skate, put the skateboard sideways and go down it on that.
Yeah, wow, look at that.
Yeah, and then over there, that's what they call grind rails.
Oh, right here, that black rail there?
Yeah, they come down off of this ramp and get on that there.
Down off this ramp, get on that.
I tell you what, everybody should come down and just watch these kids sometime, and they would be amazed at what they can do.
It really is an athletic endeavor.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
These kids, they're down here, they're not getting in trouble, they're not,
Yeah.
Like I said, that Devin Cook, he would have his dad Bill Cook build him ramps like this at his house, and all the kids would come down there and do it when it was tore down.
Yeah.
And they couldn't ride on it.
Yeah.
They really, like I said, they were really, really into it big time.
Well, this is beautiful. This is a real testament to some volunteer hours that you put into this, and other kids in the community, and the financial support. This is really, like you said, a community effort.
I mean, we got kids coming from Warren, Jamestown, St. Mary's, and kids coming from all over just up here to ride.
Awesome.
because they're not too many around like this.
No, this is beautiful. And this is only just about a year old.
That's right.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Hey, will you take us over to the pavilion and tell us a little bit about your thoughts behind building that?
Yes.
And this just came together within the last month or so, right?
Right. Yep. Yep.
Started with Care for Kane.
Yes, it did.
It was a Care for Kane project.
Yep. And the way it stands now is sort of raw right now, but we've got to dig all this out here, and we're going to put concrete in there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and that's where the picnic table's going to go.
Oh, nice.
And why we did it was to keep the kids out of the hot sun when it was scorching hot, like it has been in the in the past here. Well, still it's a nice day today, but
it feels good, yeah. But to have a place to take a break, to cool down, to sit down.
Yes, absolutely. Get out of the sun.
Yeah, I see there's a bike rack. People can ride their bikes
Yep.
here. And
Yep.
yeah, this already looks awesome. It's just gonna be even better with the concrete and the picnic table.
See that stake down there? Okay, Eli's mom, Jackie Johnson, she wants to put a tree there in his memory.
I love that.
Yep, and that's going to even be more shade, because in summertime the sun goes around it. It gets over in there, and that's going to shade this, so that's going to be nice.
That's a great idea.
But we've got to do some painting up there yet, and on the eaves and so on, in the overhang, the soffit and fascia. And then we got to dig this, like I say, and put gravel in there, and then put our concrete in.
Awesome.
So it's gonna happen.
Well, it seems like things get done.
Yeah, they do eventually. But like I said, after, I don't know, 7 years doing this, a lot of things got put behind at my house, and the wife said, "When are you going to do this? When are you going to do that?" When I get time, dear.
Sure, now you had to catch up on all the house stuff, huh?
Yes, I do. Yes, sirree.
Oh, well, this was great. I loved hearing this story. I learned so much, and I'm not surprised, but I'm always inspired by hearing how the Kane community rallies for things like this.
Oh, they do.
People like you leading the charge.
Well, a lot of people have done the same things, that it just, somebody's got to do it for how they feel about the project.
And you were just drawn in.
Yes, I was.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you want to share before we wrap up for today?
I don't know. I think I've said it all. I've rambled on here forever.
You did a great job. No, this was really, really helpful. And just thank you so much for your time, and thanks for your dedication to the skate park for the kids.
One thing I do want to mention, I think it's only right that some of the big donations really helped us.
Yeah.
I don't want to give an amount because they didn't want any publicity, but let me just say that, like the Texas Hot, very generous. Eagles Club, you can't believe how generous they are. They really helped us immensely. Fish and Game Club, that's how I used the Small Games of Chance. They sponsored it for me, so I could use for the tickets that we sold. And oh boy, the Rotary, holy jeez, great cooperation, great generosity. I hate to do this because I'll forget somebody and feel terrible, but
those are just a few of many.
That's just a few of many.
Yes.
Oh,
awesome. Well, thank you for sharing this story, Mick, and thanks again for your dedication. Is there anything else?
Nope, that's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you feel just as inspired as I do. I love this community. People really rally together because we're so connected. We know each other's stories. We know the importance of helping one another out in the business community. People like Mick, who volunteered his time to write grants for the first time ever in his life, to bringing his tools down and his lights down to do the work in the, you know, late into the night. That's what makes this community so great. We couldn't do it without these good-hearted volunteers and businesses who back the vision of the people here in Kane. So I know so many of you guys had a part in this, so thank you for that. And I just again hope that you feel as inspired as I do today hearing the story of the skate park. And if you haven't been down here, it's down by Glenwood, so come on down, check it out. It's pretty incredible, and I think it's just going to keep getting better and better. So thank you so much for tuning in today for day 39, and we'll see you tomorrow for day 40.